Hey YouTube, Tristan here. Just wanted to make a quick video to show my PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X settings on my LG C9. I'm going to first show what it should show you on the PlayStation 5. So if you go into screens and videos, everything is at 4K, 120 hertz supported, HDR of course. PlayStation kind of makes everything very simple for you. Just leave everything on automatic. But as far as my LG settings goes, of course I have it in game mode. OLED light contrast by default is set to 100. Brightness, I think also by default is set to 50. Sharpness, I always make sure to turn that down. Color, anywhere between 50 and 55, you should be pretty good. Um, Dynamic contrast, I usually leave that on low. Some people like to turn it off. I usually leave it on low. The tone mapping, I have seen people prefer HDIG, so it doesn't get double tone map, but I find it to be a little bit too dark, so I always leave mine on. Yours may be differently depending on where you have your TV is. You know, all this is subjective. You know, you might like something different. You might like yours a little bit darker. You might like yours a little bit brighter. I just prefer mine somewhere in the middle. The color gamut, I always leave that's on wide. Some people like auto, but I think it washes out the colors at some points in some instances. So I'll leave that on wide. The white balance, I keep mine on warm 1. Warm 2 is a little too yellow for me, so, and medium's a little bit too bluish. I feel like warm 1 kind of keeps it in the middle of those two. So, but again, yours, you might prefer something different. I'm just showing you what I prefer and what I usually keep my settings on. And that's pretty much it. Everything that's in the picture options, with the exception of black level, I usually keep that on low. It should be turned off. True motion definitely should be turned off, and you know, noise reduction should be turned off. But it's pretty basic settings for the PlayStation 5. Like I said, the system does all the work for you. Other than calibrating your HDR, make sure you've done that. Once you've gotten your settings correctly on your TV, make sure you go back and adjust the HDR on your PlayStation 5. Now let's move on to Xbox. Let's see. Xbox is a little different. I feel like Xbox gives you a little bit more control over your settings. Of course, let me go to details. Where's it at? All this would be checked if you do have one of the newer TVs that support HDMI 2.1. And I think all the OLEDs support Dolby Vision, so, and HDR10. Let's see. Make sure when you change it to 4K to also change your refresh rate, but I think by default it's on 60. So always make sure you go back in there and change that if your TV supports it. Let's look at the settings I have on my TV for my Xbox. I think it's generally the same as my PlayStation. Of course, game mode. The interface isn't in HDR. Hopefully they'll change that in the future. But I'm just gonna go by standard settings, since that's what you're gonna be seeing the most of the time in the interface. So my OLED light is set to 85, contrast 85, brightness 50, sharpness always turn that down to 0. All this color gamuts on auto. Of course, there's no tone mapping because it's not an HDR. Again, all this stuff is off. Black level, I still keep it on low, and motion, eye care, I keep that off. So Again, your settings might be a little different. You might prefer something a little different. I just want to show everybody what I prefer on my LG C9s and what I find to be a fantastic picture, especially at night. But if you found this video somewhat helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, just starting a new channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. And keep gaming. Talk to you later. Bye.